Welcome to the Red Pill Diaries. It's Craig here, and this is more of a what do you think session. So look, he's still alive and kicking. I'm just walking through pumpkin cornfields on the old cruiser, on the old cargo bike. So I better walk slower actually, the wee man. Right, so here's what I've been thinking lately. I think we all know that basically QAnon people are as delusional, maybe not as not evil, but they're as delusional as neoliberals, right? And it starts to make me think when I see certain things happening with Trump lately. Like, for example, he's suing a whole bunch of people, and I think, yeah, great news, clap, 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 clap. That's awesome. It really is great news that he's suing the social media companies. But, I mean, putting on our skeptics hat and our we know that everything the system presents is bullshit hat, right? It's just another time waste. It's another, oh, wait and see what happens. Oh, I'm so excited now. It's like watching Rachel Maddow rubbing her hands together because Trump's gonna go down, and he never does, because all those idiot neoliberals, they follow her like it's God's word, you know. And nothing ever happens to Trump, of course. Nothing ever happens to any of them. Nothing ever happens to Bill Clinton. Nothing happened to Hillary. Nothing happened to Biden. Strangely, Biden, it's weird. He goes between being totally senile to being partially coherent. I'm actually wondering whether my call that... I probably lost it now, actually. I had a call that Kamala Harris, because this was a coup to install her, would be the president by July. But it looks like they've managed to basically reanimate Joe Biden to make him live a few more days. I thought he was going to die in office. I thought that was going to be the big thing. That'd be, how dare you say anything bad about him? He was our president. He died. That's what I thought the narrative was going to be, you know. But instead, I'm starting to think, because remember, both sides are totally evil. And this is an American politics, of course, and every other country. I'm just talking about America, as I often do. So when you look at Trump doing these cases, again, it's a delay tactic. It's a delay of, oh, just wait and see, good things are happening in the world, oh, this is going to happen. No, we've still got the same old shit happening. We're all going to hell in a handbasket. Things ain't changed. Nothing's going to happen. If it does, it's all orchestrated. If anyone goes down for something, they're not really going down for anything. Just like the case where if you're a prolific paedophile, you go, oh damn it, I keep forgetting YouTube protect them, so that's probably my video shadow ban now. Damn it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll carry on. It's just if you know the channel, you know it. If you can. There's no point. I've done it now. I can't be bothered re-recording again. Okay, if you're a prolific one of those, then what ends up happening is the system either offs you or pretends to off you and gives you some sanctuary somewhere else, and you can change your face. Which I think, by the way, is what's happening with Jeff Bezos right now. I think what's happening is, number two, you take control, you know, Dr. Evil. You take control so I can disappear, and I would not be surprised if the rocket that he's going on miraculously blows up. Yeah, if that happens, you know, you saw it here first. It's a disappear tactic. I'm going to take my skrillions of dollars and disappear. I've done my acting job for the system. It's time to... Uh-oh. I had to scare my life there. Rumble went down this verge here, looking for water. Anyway, so... I've lost my place now. It's something about the system protecting their own. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So when I see a narrative being built around Trump doing this and that, it makes me think, when I look at the situation that happened in America and around the world with the woke culture and how ridiculous it was, but how it's been slowly unraveling and proven to be just, you have to be a complete, well, very similar to the QAnon stuff. You have to be a total fucking retard to, damn it, that's another word that gets you strike down. Doesn't matter. You have to be a total fucking retard to believe what's going on, because it's been proven when you get these timelines. It's like believing Elon Musk. Oh, hey, I've got my electric trucks coming just next year, and now it's next year, or definitely in 2019. Doesn't happen. The Boring Company doesn't happen. The tiles on the roof doesn't happen. The Starlink, most likely fucking global control grid. You know, everything either doesn't happen or is a shield for something else, and people still believe, oh, he's such a smart guy. Not really. What he does is, if you study body language like I do, and also mannerisms, he does a thing that I see quite a lot of people doing, where he speaks with a kind of fake, it's like a fake version of autism. Fumble, stumble talking. He fumbles and stumbles to try and make it look like he's more intelligent than he is. What have they actually innovated? Sweet fuck all. They take existing technologies. So I've mentioned this one before, I don't want to get into that, but there's all these, there are people who, like I used to believe I used to believe that Michael Jackson wasn't a pedo, and but then when I saw, but I only know what the media shows me. But when since I've seen what I've seen and digested it, I'd say that most likely he was, unless the media is lying, unless it was pieced together to make him look guilty, like a Cosby situation. You know, you don't really know either way, because you don't know what agendas people have against them or had against them, right? But I'd say for the most part, it probably happened, based upon the possibly falsified evidence against him. Because I said you can't believe anything unless you were there. So yeah, but I have to say that to stand by him and say, oh no, he's all perfect and everything, he's such a nice guy. Yeah, well, that's equally unbelievable. As I say, it's probably the reason why you're not meant to idolize, you know, false prophets and you know, false idols, that kind of thing. So anyway, there's that. There's the situation with Trump now suing these social media people, and of course everyone wants that. You know why? Because even a lot of lefties wanted it, and almost everyone on the right wants it. So why would you not say that that's a logical thing to do, and it's going to make a lot of people happy? It's going to play to the crowds. It leads me to believe what the agenda is to put the Trump puppet back in again, to replace the Biden puppet, and probably stop the Kamala puppet even happening altogether. And you know why? Because I think I've mentioned many times before, the system and its fuckery, what it likes to do is make things, almost again, sad, almost a woman again. Yeah, that's what I think is going on. I think it's just going to be a further ruse, a further puppet show. Trump's going to continue to play his part. He got a new contract, a new deal going on for the next phase of him being in control, him being the chosen puppet, and it's just going to be passed back and forth. How will it change things for people? Not at all, because of the things that Trump is saying right now, and his speech was pretty good the other day. I have to say, it's like, wow, if it was true, that would be fantastic if it was true. But it's not true. You know how you know it's not true? Because he didn't give Julian Assange, who's never even had a US citizenship. I don't even think he's had a fucking green card. He may not have even been to the USA before, but I think he would have been. So if he had done that to the guy who actually was exposing the mainstream media, the people he apparently doesn't like, fake news, which he got from Hillary Clinton, and then they lambasted him for actually saying fake news, even though they were the ones who came up with it. Same as what's going on right now. We know that the Democrats, as far as the play goes, as far as the pantomime that plays out, says that they were trying to defund the police, and now they're passing it on to the Republicans, as if even Democrats won't notice it. But you know what? Some of them won't, because they're so tuned in to the political tribalism that they will never believe anything wrong. Same as these idiots who believe in QAnon. They will never believe, never mind that everything QAnon said didn't come true. Like everything didn't come true. That they will still hold on to that. And in the belief that somehow the system is valid. Somehow the system isn't a parasitic entity. And I love this little part here. It's the entrance to my town. All right, enough of that. So, oh yeah, so what I think is happening right now is just another drama in the saga that is the world of politics. So yeah, so he didn't free Assange, who should never be charged anyway, because it's illegal to charge him, because you can't charge him under terrorism, because he hasn't committed any terrorism. He hasn't done what all of the agencies of the USA have done, and that is harm people in the USA, make the world a less safe place for them. Oh, horsefly, better get the fuck out of here. I got bitten by one in the back of my arm yesterday. My whole arm hurts like it's a bee sting. So I'm getting the fuck out of here. So it's like two different types of... No, there's the one biting fly and then two types of horsefly here. And then three types of mosquitoes. Fucking pain in the ass. Anyway, so what I believe is actually going on is, yeah, just another complete waste of time. Because what does the system do? The system... the system is a constant delay tactic. It's a parasitic entity, and one of its modes of function, and the way that we were just talking about horseflies fly in funny angles, and they actually fly quite slow, but the way they fly in funny angles makes you not kind of notice them. It's really weird. Like when you notice a spider has a tactic where it vibrates around its web sometimes when it notices that you've noticed it, to make, I don't know, to make itself look like a flying leaf or something. But a lot of these creatures have these tactics. Well, that creature, its tactic is delay, and constant delay, parasitism, delay. Parasitism, such as here's your, oh, you're going to get these checks for your yearly wage. Oh no, it's only going to be $2,000. There's 2,000. There's no way you're going to get $1,600. You know, it went down and down and down. Every conversation, it went down. When the people end up getting it, there's no way you're going to get $2,000 a year. I'll be damned if the government's going to give you $2,000 a month. There's no way we're going to give you $1,800 a month. And okay, here's $1,600 for the month, for the whole year. You know, it's kind of the way the narrative went, right? Meanwhile, Wall Street got, well, they got money that wasn't even promised. It just comes out of nowhere for Raytheon and for Wall Street, doesn't it? And much the same as the rest of the world. Because let's face it, the whole world is buying into the whole, the action Jacksonation, as Matt from Quantum Conscious calls it. I think we know what the Jacksonation is. Ah, little wee man, he's so cute, his name is Rumble. Ah, right. Yay, happiness. Come, get your water. Inside. Here you go. Up. Here you go, come on. There you go, up there, there you go. There you go, there you go, your water. Alright, so, whew. Where was I again? Yeah. They can make billions out of that, and it's not needed. They held back the IV space Ivermectin, which does work, and which, you know, here's another reason. Oh, bingo! Another reason why we know that Trump is completely fake. You know, people, the hydroxychloroquine, which he was talking about before, that's not even even nearly the most effective thing. Well, it's nowhere near as effective as the IV space hyphen mectin, right? Which let me show you here. So here's I got these last year because I have a good doctor friend who gives me all the stuff I need, and I asked him for this. You can see it in reverse, unfortunately, and then also this, and then also he said that this is actually having good results as a nasal spray. Tafix, and that shouldn't be shadow banned yet. And the three together will help you heal or recover from the bioweapon. Oh, actually, no, I'll just call it the bioweapon from now on. Oh, I'm pretty sure that one's not banned. I need to check. But anyway, so we know that Trump's full of shit because he never mentioned that one. That actually is the reason why there's so many less cases in Africa than there is in the rest of the world, right? Of this, whatever it is. Now, some people say, "Oh man, the virus is all fake, man." I don't give a fuck what it is. The bacterial infection, a virus, I don't give a fuck. Although it would be a lot easier to see because bacterial infections can be seen through a microscope, right? So let's just, again, have discernment. Have a little bit of discernment in life, you know. And I understand that almost everything's fake around you, but some things don't make sense. Now, I understand it could be a type of flu, but flu is a virus as well, right? Oh no, it's not bacterial. Well, cool, show it to me under a microscope. Wouldn't it be much easier to detect? Wouldn't some independent scientists, like people like Brett Weinstein, actually be saying, "Hey, hang on, we've actually seen it," you know, and got out there? Yeah, they would have. So just fucking have a bit of brains before you say stupid things like some people have commented on my channel before. Yeah, of course, I haven't seen it myself. I'm not a scientist, but I do know that people like Carrie Mullis were honest. And I don't believe his whole career was falsified, as well as his death, just so that this whole situation could happen, you know? Again, discernment. Have a bit of brains. Don't be a fucking retard. Don't be like one of these Q-tards or one of these libtards. It's just, you know, it's not a good look. So we know that Trump's full of shit because he never mentioned that. Because if he got the inside scoop on certain things, I believe that was I believe this whole thing that's been going on, this whole tit for tat with Hillary Clinton, who also committed fraud in 2000. She paid to commit fraud to the tune of around 3 million ballots in 2016. You know, if Trump was really what he said, he would have actually done something about that. He didn't do anything about it. He didn't do anything about the 12 million votes that got added to the ballot in across America in various states for Joe Biden. That means he doesn't really give a shit. You know, of course, he talks about it in a nuanced way, but he won't talk about it directly. Well, why not? Because people are allowed to talk about things directly. It's not like other countries in the world where you can't say things that are false because you'll get done for slander or you'll get sued. You can pretty much say anything you want in America under the Freedom of Speech Act, right? So he's open to say what he wants about that one. But he didn't say it, did he? No, he didn't say. He didn't pardon Julian Assange, and he also didn't pardon Edward Snowden. Well, if you really want to look at the definition of American hero and a constitutional hero, then look no further than Snowden. But he didn't do anything at all. He did nothing. That tells you he's full of shit. It's just more fuel on the fire, more thing to separate society. See, you libtard, you were wrong. Yeah, they were wrong, but it doesn't make the other side right. You can, it's this whole thing I keep saying to people as well, that old saying about the enemy of my enemy is my friend. In almost every case, the enemy of your enemy isn't just another piece of shit that is just an enemy you don't know yet. The other saying is strangers are friends that I just haven't met yet. Well, I just say that the enemies of your enemies are just motherfuckers that you don't know yet, and they're still your enemies. You haven't made an enemy of you yet. Okay, so that's about it, really. I'm not going to stay on this one very long. I just want to call it out for what it is. I want to call out the situation in the UK, all the English fans, 66,000 of course. It's I just watched another guy in the video. He pointed that out as well. 66. Of course, England won the World Cup in 1966, and go on about it like 66 was the all-encompassing year. Which, if life was a singularity, life was 1966, according to the English. They'll even boast to Germans, and Germans are like, hang on, but we won it more times than you and beat you more times and more recently. But the English are still going about it. It's to feed. Look, I'm not picking on English here. Every country has this bullshit. I come from a country that's currently in the process of getting rid of 300 years of imperialism, possibly, to replace it with God knows how many years of communism. And because that's the reality, is that Nicola Sturgeon, as much as she seemed genuine, is a lawyer, which straight away puts her into a bracket of almost certainly evil. I think it's a biting fly, motherfucker. Almost certainly evil. tried to set up the previous leader, who almost got us independence if we had actually bothered to be vigilant on the blatant ballot fraud that happened. I'm talking rubbish bags full of ballots found in dumpsters and things like that, right? So, which all said yes. This the same situation happened in America. See, the one in America was allowed. The one in Scotland, I believe, was allowed to happen. Not by Alex Salmond. I do believe that he's a genuine article, even though he's an economist, which again is in that bracket of most likely evil. Possibly a chomo, who knows? But yeah, we're seeing it all around the world. We're seeing it from Comrade Jacinda Ardern. Yes, she was a communist and most likely still is. And China has allowed, along with John Key, who I met back in 2008 before he came in power, was a Chinese puppet. That's why he opened up the property market. Same in Australia with John. Oh God, my mind escapes me. But the last couple of presidents they had, and that woman, what's her name again? It doesn't matter. You can look it up yourself. But I don't pay that close attention, so I don't mention their names very much. It's not coming to me. She's really dumb. It's amazing how dumb the leaders of Australia are. I mean, the dumb puppets in the UK. I mean, look at Boris Johnson. He's a fucking muppet, right? But he's still quite eloquent. Knows a lot of the English language. You know, probably swallowed a dictionary. But you look at these ones in Australia, and they have got to be except for America, they have got to be some of the dumbest in the world, eh? And what did they do? Well, I'll tell you what they did. They passed laws which allowed water rights not to be transferred to anyone, except for, guess what? Weirdly enough, politicians. They get to be gifted or purchase water rights, which they can then on-sell to, well, where they have sold it on to, Nestle and the Chinese, right? Which aligns with the weird stuff that happens in California. If you see the sale of the water in California to companies when they cannot afford to be giving out anyways. Why would you be... It's like going to Saudi Arabia to suck their water supply. Why would you go to the place that's... I mean, this country here is got no shortage of water. They've got a water table that even right now is we've had like 35 degrees for fucking between 30 and 35 degrees for weeks on end now, and the water table's still like 1 foot down. You know, this place is just basically a swamp, farmland area, right? And are they getting it from here? I mean, the place is filled with springs. The water here is fantastic. No, they're not interested in that. They want to take it from place. It's almost like the narrative is to constantly build this feeling of fear and worry and resentment, and again, that's why the puppet shows in the world are all carrying on. The puppet show, like in the UK, I was just mentioning, with the let's all go watch the English football because the English are doing well. I don't care about football, but lots of people do. Lots of people who never played sport in their life. I did play football. I did play rugby. I did play basketball. I did play squash. It's funny how I'm not sitting like an armchair bandit, hanging on every goal. It's just like, I think it's again, it's put there for tribalistic, just to get you all worked up, you know, and to let's see, another avenue of division. No matter how slight, it's still an avenue of division, right? And realistically, I don't know. I think competitive sports, they can be good in some ways, but I think there's nothing in them that couldn't be replaced. If you imagine someone who's into football, if you actually show them what it's like to do whitewater kayaking, they might love it. You know, you actually show them what it's like to I don't know, someone who's I don't know, in competitive windsurfing, they might just enjoy going paragliding or parasailing, paramotoring, whatever. Right? What I'm saying is these things aren't really needed. And the competitive side of it is I don't know. It's a little bit contrived, in my opinion. To just it's. I suppose there's one aspect that can be that you can excuse it, and that is the socialization. But even then, it doesn't really add up to me. That's why I ditched sports. When I was 16 years old, I stopped playing sports competitively for the schools and things, and I'd been to 9 different schools and was competitive in almost all of them, I think. Yeah, even until the end, until the last one in New Zealand that I went to. So, yeah, I think that's a whole crock of shit. as well as the number being exactly 66,000. Oh, but then again, it could be because maybe the capacity is close to that, but I don't know. I think it's 67,000. Maybe that's the reason. But I can't help but notice that number popping up, the 66, the 33s, and the 88s that keeps on popping up all the time. Anywho, so exhausted that topic a little bit. Let me see other things that Trump has done to say that he's full of shit. So that, yeah, there's the not pardoning a guy who was exposing all the things that apparently he is suing against right now, and also the other guy who did all those things, and maybe Chelsea Manning as well. I don't know. There's many things. So he's talking about the deep state and the government entity. So he's trying to pretend he's one of you guys. Same as, look, let me mention here now while I'm on the topic, Tucker Carlson, a guy who's not just self-confessed elite, but he's been recorded in phone calls very similar to incidents like you get with the David Rockefeller, and that is caught out talking about what the plans are and who they really are and so on. So Tucker's already shown himself as being one of them. But yeah, if you want to get news that's actually accurate in a mainstream media, one of the only places you can actually find it is probably him. But that is to build trust, and I've seen quite a few of these ones. For example, Crystal Ball and Sagar Entajeti. He's a conservative. She calls herself a progressive. I would say that almost all progressives and every neoliberal is a tool of the system. So and more recently, if you watch the Jimmy Dore show, who is a genuine guy, but then again, he is completely, tunnel vision when it comes to the actual the whole fakery of the system. He's kind of touched on it sometimes, but it's not so much what people say; it's what they leave out. And some of the things that guy leaves out, I think, are telling. So with people like Aaron Maté, Max Blumenthal does some great reporting, but doesn't call things for what it is. Like, for example, when there was when that woman from the Young Turks, I don't know if you know about this whole story. Look it up if you haven't. Look up Jimmy Dore, Young Turks, and you'll see the case that's going on. The case that's going on is they're gaslighting the fuck out of him. He's basically exposing them for the shills that they are, because they took a 24 million payout from donors, DNC donors. And now I still act like they're impartial. They openly talk about as if he must be a right winger. He must be a right winger. Like it makes every valid argument you have invalid because you are the other side. You see what I mean? And the right wingers do the same thing. Like Salty Cracker, I do like to watch his show. I mean, the guy's a screaming what's it called? A screaming right winger, or what they might call the alt right. But at the same time, I mean, totally delusional. Really believes that it's you guys out there, you guys, it's like my brother Paul. Actually, you know what? I really believe that before I got my brother Paul out of my life, complete Trump tard, my brother Paul is, and Boris Johnson tard as well, and a Brexiteer moron. Really believes that somehow Brexit's better for Scotland than what leaving the UK is. Both of them are essential, but also I believe that it's essential to probably even break up Scotland into what it used to be, just areas with clans, because localism is where we came from. Effectively, anarchy is how Scotland got defeated in the first place. And yeah, I know you might say, why would you want to go back to what's been defeated? No, our share of the nuclear weapons can be a deterrent, right? And I know that maybe nuclear weapons are false and they don't even work. But that means if they are, then we've got nothing to be worried about. But any country with a few $1 billion can get themselves weaponry to make themselves a deterrent. And I would say that it'd be easy enough for the regions of Scotland to do that. I like the idea of a federation, rather than but not in the way that America did it. Not like a confederal republic like America did it, where you got too much power at the top. Like the EU, for example, rather than destroying the EU, what they could do is just give it less powers and make it a club. We are a club where you can pass between three. We share information here to allow people to go across the borders, or to know that some murderers escaped and come into our country, whatever it might be, right? But other than that, I'm just saying, if I was a person who wanted the system, which I don't, that's what I would be advocating for. But I don't want the system at all. I would rather a world where I get to carry a gun anywhere in the world, and can look after myself. And if an evil motherfucker comes along, me or some other person will have already killed them, and they won't be alive anymore to mess with us. It's the way the world should be, okay? Instead of having a legal system that protects them and a legal system that ensnares me and puts me in jail for life for actually ridding the world of an evil piece of shit who's come into my life and try to fuck it up, right? So yes, you do know that Trump is full of shit. The whole situation might end in him coming back in power again. I wouldn't be surprised, because that would be the maximum. If you think about it, what better distraction than to give a crumbling America that you can see that. I think even most Democrats can see what the Biden administration is doing. It's like, let's see how much we can get away with this. It's like, oh, people they're still not rioting in the streets, because that's the goal, by the way. The goal is to cause total meltdown so that you have a civil war. If it doesn't happen, then swing it the other way. Give more drama, more delay tactics. Oh, we can put more money in the pockets of the banks for some excuse. More and more and more delays to stop you getting ahead, to make you think that's what's really going on. What's really going on is what's really should be going on is that the people of America should be getting rid of those leaders without fear of repercussion. Because the reality is, even if you get rid of these leaders and these parties, you will still have the deep state and to protect the country for a while, and you'll also still have the state governments to protect the country for a while, and those state governments have some level of control. And the whole threat of Russia or China, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The only threat that does exist in this world from countries is some little pissant countries around the world that are third world with their third world neighbor, and of course the whole globe with America as the primary threat. Those are the only threats that really do exist. And by the way, I'm not just saying America, I'm saying that every country needs to do this. We need to get to a stage of localism. And when you have localism, it needs to be accountability. And I'm talking about accountability with threat of death. And if you don't have that, then you're going to continually attract corrupt people. But if you have that threat of death there, you will find a very different class of person being attracted to politics. It will not be those seeking power, it will be those seeking to serve. And if you take away the corrupt system, you need to get rid of the legal systems and start from the ground up. And you start at what's pretty much in the Bible, all right? And then you build from there only if required. And every single law that you put on, I would say has to be voted on by it has to be a referendum. It has to be at least, let's say, 60% of the vote to get a law passed. Every single law. You need to weed them all out from scratch, because, but it's an institution, it's so special. There's nothing special about the legal system of the world. Nothing at all. I cannot stand it. I've got a few lawyer friends who, they go on about laws if it's something sacred and holy. It's not. It's something disgusting, nefarious. So you need to start from scratch. Wee man? Yes? You want to come sit up with me? Alright, you go. There you go. There you go. No, you don't. Okay, fair enough. You do want to come up. Okay, there you go. Alright. So, with that, look, I don't think it's any secret. There's a puppet show going on all around the world. The situation with China is laughable. Everyone obeying the CCP. They can't even hire a foreigner to write their propaganda in correct English in China. It's just pathetic. And New Zealand, they don't have to. Jacinda Ardern doesn't even have to shield the stuff she's doing, because the people are just such. Oh, okay, yeah, this guy. I'm even finding, and this is really sad to say, my friend, he's a hardcore capitalist. He said the other day, "Oh my God," he said, "I think I'm becoming a communist." He says, "It's happening by stealth." And because he thought about some of the things he was saying, and he was talking about how years ago, back in New Zealand as well, he said, "Oh, I used to be a hardcore socialist." I'm like, no, my ideals haven't changed. I'm saying if you put it into a system, the whole reason for having a government there is that you have collective resource, right? And some of that collective resource should be a net to stop people falling through the cracks, so that you don't walk around the street having a guy who's dying in front of you and your kids while you're walking down the road. Simple as that. And so you have roads around your town. That's so far as roads are required. I don't think roads are required. I think that the technology that's been suppressed from us would allow us to travel freely by multiple methods, even whether it's dirt track or whatever else it is. We just don't really need roads, but hey, they're cool to have when you have a nice Lamborghini or something, right? But yeah, so I haven't really changed. But what I've always wanted is the ability to walk away from any system. And what you'll notice around the world, I believe that Trump's wall is part of this, by the way, is that what they're trying to do is create boundaries that didn't used to exist. They're trying to create situations. See, immigration was never a problem. And that's because most people don't want to immigrate, because times are good. When you falsely create a situation where people are starving, then they want to migrate. If you falsely create a situation like the USA has done time and time again, actually this is a very good example. If you look at what America did in Libya, Iraq, what they want to do in Iran, what they want to do in Libya, what they have done in the past in Vietnam and Korea, what they've done in Libya. Sorry, I've mentioned that one already. Syria. So all these countries, what they do, it creates a situation where it supplies the EU with unwanted people, because immigration was fine, but mass immigration's not. Again, why is this around? Because why didn't the EU complain about America creating war? Because it's like you got the EU, then you got Turkey, then you got all this shit going on. It's not on America's doorstep; it's on our doorstep. Why didn't our country say anything? Because it's all part of the global fuckery. The one system, the one cabal that runs everything globally wants it to happen, because they have the same agenda as every other country. They want a situation where you either have no immigration because the people have already become scared enough and xenophobic enough that you don't want anyone in the country. Because if the government told you to do that, you wouldn't listen, and you'd rally against them. What the hell was that? But yeah, when they create a situation, it automatically creates, animosity and fear of the foreigner, and that means no one can move anywhere. And that's what they really want. They want you to stay in your farm, and the best way to do that is build the wall and make sure that people can't come in and people don't want to go out. I don't, like Kiwis always say, why would I want to go anywhere? It's the best country in the world. Where have you been? No way. Oh, because it's the best country in the world. Why would I want to go anywhere? Seriously, you know how many Kiwis I've had tell me that? I've had a couple of Aussies and a couple of Safas years ago tell me the same thing, but nowhere like New Zealand. I have heard that, God, over the years, it would be well over 20 times. And I had the sentiment from far many more. But those exact words almost I've had from well over 20 people. So that's all it takes to make people think in that way. Now, hey, I don't mind. You used to live in one country all your life, and put down roots, stay in one place. I like to put down roots in a few places. Like, for example, a garden. You don't just plant one plant; you plant a few of them. You want a bit of diversity in there. You want something so that tomorrow you can eat a different fruit rather than having the one thing every day. So, yeah, that's one thing. Sorry, that's terrible. I did that on camera, but I need to do something with it. So, yeah, you have that situation that every country is trying to create. Like, for example, in New Zealand years ago, they had a situation where they gave Maoris benefits, and they still do, benefits and all sorts. Actually, they're trying to create an apartheid system right there right now, but a different type of apartheid than Israel has or South Africa had. And what's that for? That's to create animosity. That's to create division between, oh, look at those Maoris getting everything for free. That's what I heard growing up. What, Maoris made those laws? Maoris made that legislation that made them get stuff for free? No. White people did. The ruling white people that are in control of the country, which is probably Americans, to be honest with you, and now actually was the Americans. Sorry, is probably now the Chinese. They're probably taking control. I think the way it's looking, the current administration. Look, you get these straw man situation, Russia, China. For one side saying Russia all the time, one side saying China. I would say that both are in cahoots. Put it this way, both treat their citizens the same way. In the same way as the UK. The UK is always about anti-Russia. But they seem to be pro-China. You know why they're pro-China? Because if they could get away with it, they'd have the same slavery system that they have in China, in America and in England. And then India, they'd have the same slave systems. Actually, India already does have slavery. Rampant slavery. There's slavery everywhere, but it's rampant in India. So I would say all these countries are in cahoots, as I've said many times before. And I would just say that the evidence is building every day on that being the case. The evidence is building every day that there's two separate systems. The evidence is building every day that that Trump is just another tool of the system. Always has been, always will be. Biden, of course, is a no-brainer. Every other person, look at the. I would also say that there is a remote chance out there that Bill Clinton's not a paedophile. There's just a remote chance. There's a remote chance out there that Hillary Clinton isn't a pedivore. A remote chance. But, you know, it could just be part of the act. You know what I mean? But then again, I do believe that my instincts have always told me, even from childhood, that there's a certain type of human being out there. And even before my parents told me about people that abduct kids and kill them and stuff like that, and when you get people out on the loose, even before that, I've had a feeling that there is some adults like this that are truly evil. Your instincts just tell you that, and as you grow up, it stays with you, and then you start seeing evidence of it, like first-hand evidence of it, or hints of it, or you see stories that did happen in your area. Someone gets butchered or something. Yeah, I saw someone getting burned to death in South Africa. Well, a couple of people getting burned to death, and they call it necklacing. It's really horrible. I was only about 12 at the time. So yeah, I do know that this abhorrent evil does exist. My girlfriend got gang raped and strangled to death in South Africa. This is, there's a lot of things I've seen or have happened in my own life. So it's not like, oh, maybe just the media said that. No. I've seen stuff in my own life. Some fucking horrendous things, right? But yeah, for the most part, these things in the system could be a mixture of truth and tale. The only way we can be free of it is localism, because it's the consolidation of power that makes power impossible to fight, and having the ability to be unaccountable to because you can't, if you have someone who, let's say you have the world leader, and the world leader's sitting there in Switzerland, right? Well, people in the depths of Africa and people across in South America, how are they gonna get a voice to speak to power? They're not. And that's the whole reason behind consolidation of power, is so that you are so dissociated and disconnected from where power lies that you really just have no hope. And this is why centralization is so disgusting. It's why globalization is so disgusting. And this is why we need to go back to not nationalism, because that's almost as bad. But what you need to have is localism, and you might, so that you can still have the option of here's why. You still have the ability to collaborate and push forth development of infrastructure. That's one thing. The second thing is you still have the ability to travel the world freely as you should have. The third thing is you still can create prosperity, and you can still create fuck-ups. And if you create fuck-ups, it happens in isolation. If you have a situation where something's run by a despot, then you just avoid that area. It becomes mapped out, like you got in the charts of the sea now. You know that by parts of Venezuela, and you know that by the east coast of Africa, by Somalia, there are pirates there. You know that parts of Asia near the Malacca Straits, there's pirates there. The same thing. You just have a navigation tool for that. But in a world where you can just fucking travel around with your guns, because you'd have to be able to, I think that the leveling out effect of it would be overall be less evil in the world, because you wouldn't have the situation where evil is 100% protected by the legal systems in the world, and that good is 100% pursued of attack vectors of pursuit by the system. To example, my ex-wife and I, when we got attacked by the system in the UK, it let 2 police officers off blatantly. The judge said nothing about their perjury. Blatant perjury, while he's scrapping through old books from the 1800s trying to find similar cases to try find new charges, since we'd been, every time we got made innocent, this piece of horrible wig-wearing freak would flick through. I've had the same shit in New Zealand before as well, and in the end, I was in the money back then. I just fucking paid the best lawyers and got rid of, basically made it all go away. That wasn't possible in the UK, because it's a less desperate system. The system's going to profit anyway. It's a different type of socialism in the UK. Now, the system's completely corrupt in New Zealand as well. The legal system, the Ministry of Injustice they have over there, and they have the Ministry of Injustice in the UK as well. No, It might be Her Majesty's something, who fucking knows. Anyway, but the systems are both totally corrupt. Same as the police force, you probably only have far less than 10% of police that are not horrible, disgusting people. In New Zealand, in the UK, I would say probably less than 5%. Those that I've come in contact with over the years, I would say it's less than 5% in the UK. And they wouldn't be privy to the stuff that really goes on there. That is that's the shielding and, well, the ritual abuse of people in general, but also the shielding of the paedophile networks of the world, and of mostly of the UK, but of the world as well. They did defend Epstein. They stopped investigating Epstein in the UK, for example, but that was because it led to Prince Andrew, so they just dropped it like it was hot. So nothing's going to change, and don't buy into any of these narratives going on right now. And by the way, when I mentioned the English football thing before, here's why it's happening, in my opinion. It's happening because they want the spread of... I'm going to mention, we were around Anita's grandmother. We both got sick. We believe we got sick from her. Now she's in hospital, by the way, after the second jab. It wasn't her fault. She didn't want to have it. And I really feel sorry for her stupid, dumbass daughter, her, Anita's auntie, basically just being a Bolshevik. Just made her have it, just pestered the fuck out of her until she got it, and then had the second one. She was sick after the first one. She was quite a lot more sick after the second one, and then when we were around her cleaning up the house, I got really, really sick. And two of the days, my in case you ever get it, besides the usual throat thing that I had in the previous COVID thing that I got twice. Again, strange that I get the same effects twice. My friend said, no, it's a variant of it. No. This is last year. It was only 3 weeks after getting over the other one, and it lasted a couple of weeks as well, that I got the next one. And it was the exact same effects. Every symptom except for the loss of taste and smell. And we both never had that, but we had everything else. Sore joints, randomly moving pains, that kind of stuff. This time the pains weren't randomly moving. It started out my feet, my right foot especially, but my feet, my ankles, then my knees, then went upwards, and then it moved from being joint pain, or rather the joint pain subsided a little bit and it became more muscular pain. Lower back started out, and then it went all the way up to the upper back, and then at the last days, after I wasn't bedbound for 2 days, the last days, if I jumped up and down and landed dunk on my heels, it felt like I had like lead. If you imagine lead with little spikes on it, little tiny ball bearings of lead through my bloodstream and through my muscles, and you jump up and down, doom, land on your feet, doom, and those lead weights move down, and you feel it in your muscles. That's how it felt on the last days, when I could still walk around. This is after I was bedbound, but I was recovering. So especially in the rhomboid area, in the trapezius, and in the two muscles going down your back, and then also the lower back. So lower back and the rhomboids and traps are the worst. So I started to get the effects of it again. Like I'd got rid of it and I started to get the effects of it yesterday morning. I thought, oh, not here we go again. But it looks like it's not coming so harsh this time again. So what happened last time is a little bit of nose, throat, and chest congestion, like last year with the COVID thing, which from what I've read online, same all the symptoms except for the no sense of smell. And this time it's like something different. She had a PCR test because she's got coverage in the system here. I understand that the PCR test shouldn't be used to diagnose, but I might be able to identify things, so I'll go for it anyway. No, it's just some other virus they came back with, not just some other thing. Well, what? I want to know what it is then. Because I want to know if these tests are even worth their weight, if they can identify anything. I don't think they can. But anyway, apparently no, you're fine there. But yet we got a situation that was worse for us than what COVID appeared to be. As I say, I wasn't in bed with two days with COVID. I was just quite lethargic the first few days, and then other things happened, like this weird cough that was niggling and didn't disappear for about 3 weeks, I think, from memory, both times. So yeah, it's just really, really strange. All these things are very, very strange. I think I lost my place a little bit here. But yeah, oh, that's right. So I think that what's actually happening is we're all contracting stuff from people who've been vaccinated. So when I got this, my friend Carolina says that she doesn't treat people anymore who have the vaccine. She wants to put it in her adverts that sorry, if you've had the vaccine, you're not welcome. I love that. I love it because it puts the spin on that whole bullshit the system brings out where, oh, you're not welcome if you're not vaccinated. No, I want to see people say, if you are vaccinated, you're not welcome. You're a risk to us. Especially with what some of the top virologists in the world are saying right now. Damn it, I can't talk about this topic because they'll give me a strike like the last time. But anyway, the top virologists in the world, you can go look at what they're saying. You know what, I'll put some video links in the description of this, okay? Because the names aren't, I'm shit with names, especially in the morning. But yeah, a whole bunch of virologists and microbiologists who talk about the effectiveness of the drugs that they won't allow because there's no money to be made, such as ivermectin, because it's past its. This is why it was suppressed, because it's past its date for patents. Damn, I don't mean to speak this long. Damn it, 45 minutes already. Yeah, it's past its date, and they don't want the truth to come out about it because they can't make money on it. And the reason why they're pushing all these jackinations is because you know, because there's money to be made for the disgusting elite, and that is, and it's a way of just continually clawing back wealth in this whatever this realm is. There's, imagine it like a single Bitcoin. They want all the Bitcoin so they can then dole out to people as payment. They've got nothing against Bitcoin because you can track it, you know. They just have something against not having complete carte blanche and total ownership of something. That's what they have against, right? But with the way trading systems work and things like ETFs and other financial tools, they will pretty much have whatever remaining Bitcoin. Let's say there's at the end of all the mining, let's say they've lost another 2 million coins. Let's say that we end up with only 16 million Bitcoin in the world. They will probably end up having 50. The system will probably end up having 15 million one day, because of because of their confiscations, because of their institutions, like, you know, the current Wall Street will be still using the same trading bots they've always done with the gold markets and every other market, and they'll rig the markets and they'll make sure that they end up clawing everything back, just like they have done with the housing market, the land and everything else. So it will go back to being a total feudal system like it was up until about the 1600s. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up on all that, what I think is going on, my take on everything. Yeah, as usual, none of it's real. Get yourself out, get yourself away from being affected by the system, and that means moving to less populated areas, moving to areas like where I am in, where people farm. So there's always going to be a food supply here. People have shotguns. People, you know, so you know they can make a stand. And at the end of the day, if it really comes to it, and what about if this? Well, there's a certain level you can't protect against, and just make sure that you've done the work to make sure your soul, your spirit is in good form, that you shouldn't fear death. You know what I mean? I really I'm a strong believer that people who fear death is you've failed to live properly, like to get experiences in life. You've also failed to live in a way that makes you guilt free. Because I've got no guilt about anything I've done. Even the kind of horrible things I've done. You know, when I was kind of living very outside the law, I don't have any guilt about it. I never did anything really horrible to a nice person. So yeah, I've got absolutely no guilt whatsoever. So yeah, try get yourself in a position like that. So yeah, try be like me. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds really narcissistic. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else to say. So you have a good one, and take care.